Well, hello YouTube. Here we are with a little bit of a video. In front of us here we have a unboxing video of a backyard grill. This one here is a portable stainless steel gas grill, meaning that it runs on propane. Now it is 10,000 BTUs. Will cook 12 burgers, so they call it a large capacity. There's 208 square inches of total grill space, stainless steel cooking surface, push button ignition, and a little latch to keep the lid from falling on open. It folds up for easy portability and all that good stuff. Assembled grill dimensions are 27 inches wide, 17.8 inches deep, and 14.3 inches high. Now it comes with a 1-year limited warranty. So let's cut on into this baby and see what we got. So once you've cut on into her, we'll remove the cardboard box and see what kind of grill $98.98 buys you. So on first impressions, you got a shiny stainless steel type surface. Couple of foam blocks for shipping. And it looks like she requires tools for assembly. And if you're like me in the middle of nowhere, you're not going to have tools to assemble a barbecue, so we're going to have to get a little bit creative. So open the latch, the lid flips open, exposing what I'm assuming are the legs and the cooking surface here. You have the heat distribution plate, some more foam, grease catcher. Oh, they included a screwdriver. Isn't that nice? In destruction manual, handy dandy handle. This is your burner. And another piece of cardboard. So, recommend reviewing the assembly or instruction manual first. One, you'll need to know how to assemble it, and sometimes just flying off the cuff, you happen to make mistakes in the assembly process. And two, it is a propane grill, so you do know or have to know how to do the proper lighting sequence or so you don't blow yourself up or singe your eyebrows. So we'll review the manual and then come on back. Okay, so I removed all of the pieces out of the plastic, unwrapped the hardware pack, got a look at what was inside, read the instructions, and the instructions say to start with the handle first. So starting with the handle, which is this part here, then we want to fasten it to the lid of the grill. 2 letter B's, 2 letter C's, and 2 letter D's, which basically equates to one of your Phillips head bolts, which is the longer one, a flat washer, and a lock washer. So essentially you just stick the bolt through the tin of the barbecue and start threading it in by finger until it starts to get reasonably tight, and then use the screwdriver to finish tighten it down from there. So once they are sort of finger tight, use the screwdriver to tighten them down. Sorry if I'm in your guys' way, but yeah, kinda is what it is. So after they're tightened on down, The next step is to work on the legs themselves. Now, using a letter A letter D, and a letter C, essentially following the same type of instructions, putting the washers on the lock washer and in the bolt through the tin into the leg. I will assemble the legs off camera and then come on back and show you what I did. So in the leg there are these pre-threaded inserts, so there's no need for a nut on the back side. The bolt just slides through and threads on into that. As long as you have the right combination of washer and lock washer and you tighten her down, it should be good to go. So after you've got the legs on and the screws tightened down, the next thing to install is the burner itself. Now the burner bolts go through these two stamped holes in the bottom of the pan here. The burner itself slides in. Make sure not to break the little ceramic on the sparking device, because that would suck at this point. And then run the bolts in through the bottom and tighten them on down. Now the ears of the burner have a threaded section on them, so you can not put a nut on the back side. They will hold themselves. Now unfortunately I'm going to have to get in here to do this once more, so I won't be able to show you the actual work, but you kind of get the idea per se. And tighten them on down, move on to the next step. So right here are the bottom side of the fasteners for the burner itself. On my barbecue, one of the ears were bent on the burner, so I just had to straighten her, but that's the way she is. Over here is the ceramic piece, or what receives the spark and sends it to the burner. Like I said, try not to break that piece because, well, that would suck at this point. So now the next step is to move on to the striker itself. So the next piece is this here. It slides on the barbecue just like that. The wire plugs into the ceramic piece, there's a little metal tab, and using the same screws you used for the rest, just drive it on into the body of the barbecue. Again, there are a threaded section there that will accept the screw or bolt. So our next piece is, well, the regulator or the valve. This end goes on to your little 1 pound propane tank bottle, and this end goes into the barbecue or the burner itself. And of course, this is the valve to control the flow of juice and your heat. So if you see right there, you can kind of see my burner. Right now it's sitting offside from the hole that is stamped in the burner cover, if you want to color that. So what you're going to have to do is reach up underneath, pull down gently on the burner, and start to thread the regulator into the burner. Do not cross thread it, because, well, it won't give you a second chance at getting her done. So let's run her in, tighten her on down. Now you might want to use pliers on this, but I'm pretty sure finger tight majority of us can get what needs done. So when you're done, you end up with something that should look similar to that. So the next step is the heat distribution plate, which, remember again, is a stamped triangle looking piece here. You unlatch it, open up your barbecue, gaze at its wonderful glory, and then, with no tools involved, the plate just drops on in there's little eyelets in the plate itself that kind of clip into a bracket in the barbecue. However, mine is a little bent out of shape, so mine doesn't exactly clip in place per se, but you know, once again, it is what it is. Then the stainless steel cooking surface goes on the top. Don't forget the grease tray to slide in underneath. Then you are basically ready to start cooking. So before you cook, I'd recommend hooking it up to the 1 pound barbecue cylinder, letting it heat up good, burning off any of the oils or fluids that might be on it from the manufacturing process, shipping process, and whatever else might be on it before you put your food on her. And so before we light it, and she gets all greasy and hot for the first time, let's fold her on up and see what she looks like folded up. So closing the lid down and latching it with the latch. In the store, I like this latch a lot better than the other latches that were on some of the other tabletop models. Folding it on its back, there's little push buttons on the legs that they fold inward. You press the button and then the leg folds inside or inward to the body of the barbecue. And when you're done, you have something that looks, well, very similar to that. So my thoughts on the building of this here tabletop barbecue. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a good, 7.5 to 8. Even for my shaky fingers, it went together really, really well. I had trouble with some of the fine hardware, but that's just me. The instructions were clear. If you can follow pictures, you can follow instructions. All the pieces were there. Everything fit okay. There are some issues with the stamping of the metal. Like I mentioned, with the ear that's on the burner was bent, so I had to straighten it. As well as there is a dent. I'm not sure if this camera will pick it up, but there's a dent right here, like either it was dropped before it went into the box, or that's just in the stamping, or maybe that is a cooking dent that helps regulate the heat so you can cook your steak better. As for the way she looks, well, she looks nice. She's stainless steel finish. I don't know how it'll resist to rusting, if it's a good quality restaurant grade stainless steel or just, you know what I mean, basic for the price you get. The line across the front seems to be rather tight with no gap, but there's a gap here widening as it goes backwards. On the back of the barbecue, well, there's another gap here. It's to be kind of in the stamping, how it bows a little bit. And on the other side, pretty much the same as the other side, same type of a gap. So in terms of usability, it looks like it's very usable. It looks like it's got everything where it needs to be in terms of the grill, the heat distributing plate, the burner itself, the valve, the regulator, the igniter, everything's good to go. So let's slap on a 1 pound cylinder and let her heat up and see what happens. So with the 1 pound cylinders, they all pretty much thread on or install the same way. If you've used a lantern, a cook stove, a heater, a tabletop barbecue, you'll know what I mean. Now they do make an adapter that adapts this regulator to a hose so that you can run it off a 20 pound cylinder. So you're not buying a new one of these every time you go out. However, they do come in a 3-pack, and I have seen them in a 4-pack, so they are fairly plenty, and you shouldn't run out of them. So you just put the cylinder on top, thread it in. Again, don't cross thread her. Tighten her on down, and she should be good to go. Don't need her super tight, but again, you don't want her super loose. So you got a lock here to the off position, and she is locked where it can't be bumped or turned by accident. So you push her in and turn her, and then hit the igniter. And not sure if you heard the woof, but it is lit. So we'll close her on up. So we'll close her on up, let her heat up, let it burn off anything that may be on it that we don't want it on our food, and then we'll throw on our meat and let's get cooking. So we got the barbecue all heated up. It reached right around 750 degrees. Looks like to be Fahrenheit, which is about 400 degrees Celsius. So I did turn it down again. So now I'm going to throw on the meat. Now, yes, this is a pretty big piece of steak, and this little barbecue might struggle to cook something that large, but hey, it's a good trial for it. Stick it on, see what happens. Close the lid, let her cook. Okay, here we are about halfway through cooking the steak. As you see, it is, well, coming along pretty good. Probably right now it still is rare condition, especially in the middle. Steak was slightly on the frozen side when it went in there, because I did put it in the freezer after buying it, because I didn't quite know if I'd be at a campsite within a day or if it would be a day or 3. But so far she's coming along good. The barbecue's working like it should. Close her back up and keep on cooking. Okay guys, moment of truth. I did this wonderful backyard grill barbecue, cook my steak. I know it hasn't been forever. It's a little colder than the house one, but again, it's only 10,000 BTUs, so that is understandable. So open her up, and as you see, cutting into one of the thicker parts of the meat. If this camera will see it, you see she is perfectly cooked. No pink, no nothing. It's not overcooked, but yet it's not undercooked. But this has been an unboxing, a little bit of a review, and an operations check of a backyard grill, stainless steel finish, 10,000 BTU, fold-up portable barbecue. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.